Hello, fellow freelancers. I am talking to you from a very big thunderstorm, so hopefully everything goes okay here. I just wanted to make this quick extra video for you because usually I am on these videos answering your questions, giving you my input and my advice on this, that, and the other. But today I'm switching it around a bit, and I have questions. I have a couple questions, let's say, for you guys. And so now I'm asking you the questions, and I'm trying to get your input and your advice. So I would appreciate it very much. Anyway, so a bit of background about this whole thing. I am currently, I work as a freelance translator, and I'm setting up my own thing. But also in the background, I also have my course on how to be a successful freelance translator, and I've been working kind of on the back burner. In the back, I've been working on this other course that that's been in the back of my mind for a while. It's been on the back burner. And it's been about learning languages. I'm very interested in learning languages. I love languages. I speak 8 different languages at various levels. And it's been a thing that I always wanted to tackle, but it always seemed strange, or it seemed hard, let's say, because there's so many different, like with freelance translation, how do you teach translation when there's so many source languages and so many target languages? And depending on what language you're translating into and from and all that, it can be totally different. It's so hard to teach it. On the other hand, I do have a course out there called How to Be a Successful Freelance Translator. And so anyway, I've obviously been very much into languages, and I've been very interested in learning languages, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. And so anyway, I've been working on this. It's kind of coming together and seems like it will be coming together soon. But before I actually, launch it and put it out there and everything, I wanted to get a bit more input. So my question for you guys is, first of all, I would like your input on any issues you have with learning languages. I assume many of you are interested in learning languages since you're on this channel and you have something to do with translation. And so if you've ever had any issues, if you've grown up with 2 different languages, then that's fine. But otherwise, if you've been learning languages, or whether they're the ones you work in or other ones, what issues, what problems have you had? And so, what stuff do you think should be addressed when learning languages? What problems are there out there? And what maybe obstacles have you found when you've been trying to learn a new language and you just found it too hard? And I'm just curious to see what's out there. I know what issues I've had and what I've seen before, but I want to see if there are any other things out there. That's question number 1, what issues or problems you've had. My question number 2 is, what successes have you had? So like what ways, what methods, what tips and tricks do you have, let's say, that have worked well for you? And there I'm curious because I'd also like to try them out and see how they go. So I really am interested in seeing more or less, what issues you have and what solutions you have, and just to try to get an idea of what's out there. And I see a comment. Oh yeah. So Amal Makar, it says idioms are too hard. Yeah, they are too hard, seriously. Anytime I have idioms, expressions, all those metaphors, similes, all that stuff, I always feel like those things, they're kind of tackled later on in a way. I mean, you do the vocab, the grammar and all that at the beginning, but you need idioms to sound fluent, and yeah, they are too hard. So I'm glad you brought that up because there are specific ways to tackle idioms, but I think, it needs to be after you've gotten the basics, because at the beginning you can't, there's no way you can do it. And, it's really hard to try to explain some sort of random expression, to someone like, oh, he has an axe to grind. If they barely speak any English, it's very hard to explain those idioms and expressions. But yeah, exactly. So stuff like that. If you have any issues that have come up, any obstacles, and because hopefully it's something I can address as well, and find potential solutions for. So anyway, I'm working on this, and I've been working on this during the day, and so I just got really curious about it, and so I wanted to ask you guys, and so I'm just putting it out there. So feel free to let me know, either I see here in the chat, or else in the comments, or you can just message me via YouTube. It lets you private message me, however you want. I'm just curious to hear from you guys and get any input from you guys. And obviously, I'll let you know as the course comes along what's going on with it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I thank you in advance, and I will see you in the next video. And I have, here. Sorry, because I just saw a new comment. The difference between culture. Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, that's well. Difference between culture. Yeah, I mean, because that's another more advanced issue. And I mean, it's just such a huge issue, because these, I mean, I'd say advanced, but if you travel to a place for the first time, you have to deal with the differences in culture. I wonder, are there any specific issues you've had, like with the differences between cultures, or is this something in general? Because I'm trying to think. I know, like, I've had, I mean, yeah, quite a few issues going, especially between, say, like Europe and Asia, and there are a lot of differences there, and and still now that I've been doing it for several years, I find a lot of differences and issues there between the different cultures. I would say, yeah. Anyway, that's something I need to tackle as well. That because actually, and that could be really interesting, just to try to do that. And I do think it's rather advanced. But on the other hand, if you travel to a country for the first time, you need to know the differences in culture, even if you barely speak the language or don't speak the language at all. That can be a very important part to know, what's allowed, what isn't, and what's really frowned upon, and what's taboo, what isn't, and stuff like that. Yeah, and in fact, yeah, because along those lines, there are some general rules you can take that at least I've found that I use, and that's never use any curse words. I know many times when you learn a different language, the first thing you learn are curse words, and but in my experience, it's just too risky, especially at the beginning. Don't use any curse words in another language, because you really don't know how it translates, if it translates well or stuff like that. And then, and then it goes back to idioms, because many times you learn these expressions or something and you think you can use them fine, but it turns out you can't use them with certain people, or with people who are, older than you, or something like that. And so it's, those can be issues as well. That's why I say, yeah, it's kind of an advanced thing. But anyway, yeah, it's, but yeah, stuff like that. That's what I'm wondering about. And that's what I'm hoping I can tackle and, give it some thought on my own. And then, well, yeah, and then maybe I can make another video where I address that as well, and also give an update about the course. Anyway, I hope your weekend is going great. And that's pretty much what's occupying my weekend, at least for now. And, but otherwise, yeah, so I'd appreciate any input from you guys, once again, for either one of those points. And once again, any issues you've come across in learning new languages, or any methods you've developed and found for getting through those issues and actually obtaining really good results in learning languages. And we'll see what comes up. So yeah, that's about it for now. I'll talk to you in the next video, and take care and have a good weekend.